Hey guys, Bobby Bollinger here, and I was not going to make this video today. I was actually planning on like a Game of Thrones thing. I know that's not my target demographic, but this channel isn't making money anyway by my own choice, and it's not that big. It's just a thing I do for like because I want to. So I was gonna do a Game of Thrones thing, see what I could fix. That'll come out later. But today we have a special treat brought to you by the people of Alabama. Yuck, yuck. It's like the starship. It's like the Death Star of the conservative world. Like, this is the big weapon. This is the one everybody thinks of. And they just banned an episode of Arthur, I think actually the season opener of Arthur, because it had a gay marriage in it. Like, this is par for the course for the idiocy of Alabama. But I I know why they did it. And it's because like I live in the Alabama of the North. Indiana, former headquarters of the KKK, and by God does it so. Like, there's no outright racism, but you can tell. Like, you know it's there. You can see it. And our problem with our people as a whole is that, well, it's in the same vein as Alabama. It's the same problem, same vein, different intensity in how we go about it, though we probably would be the same intensity if Mike Pence was still our governor. He's moved on to better things, of course, which is good for Indiana, bad for the country, but regardless, it's the problem is that we don't get to that second level of thought. Like, our first thoughts, we take those and we just go with them. We just throw them out there. We try to make things as simplistic as possible. And we can't. The world at this point, the laws we're governed by at this point, have hammered out just about all the simplicity. And we can't work with on simplistics anymore. We have to go to that second level of thought. We have to run things through more. We just don't. And that's why Alabama's the sit so it is today, because that they just don't do that. I mean, to be fair, a lot of places don't do that. Like, most people don't do that. But I think it is especially bad in certain areas, especially in conservative states, because it's like you're holding back progress, but you don't understand why. Holding back progress can be a good thing. Like, you don't want to go too far forward, because that can cause huge problems, things that they didn't think through because they were so focused on going forward. That's the job of the conservative, not to stop progress, but to slow it down enough so that we can do it right. But they don't know that. Most people don't know that. And it's why conservatives are it's why the first thought conservatives are more problem than first thought liberal. Because first thought conservative is a very important job. Well, no. Conservative, very important job, holding the progress back, slowing it down, very important. But when it goes too far, you actually erase progress. But to the episode at hand, Mr. Ratburn's gay now. Okay, whatever. And I saw one comment about it that was trying to be, like, ironic, trying to be funny, and just how far the show is gonna go. And the first paragraph, well, after the first paragraph, the guy went off on an absolutely out there tirade of how far it would go, but that first paragraph, I don't think he realized how close he was to things Arthur can actually do. Like he said, in one episode they're gonna find out they can't have kids and they're gonna get bummed out about that. And that's what Arthur does. That is an episode of Arthur. I mean, maybe one of those does exist for some reason, but that's Arthur's thing. It had a 9/11 episode, not actually 9/11, but clearly an allegory for it. That had the kids reacting to a traumatic event that stayed with them, and all the different ways they dealt with that. And there was another episode where a character who pops up fairly frequently got cancer. Didn't die, I don't think, at any point, but they got cancer. And the kids had to deal with that, with their different ways of dealing with that, different knowledge of how that is. Kids reacting to what the world is Arthur. That's what Arthur is about as a show. And whether you like it or not, gay people and gay marriages are a part of the world. So at some point, yeah, Arthur was gonna do this. Arthur should have done this. It would have been weird if they didn't do this. And they keep saying it's going to confuse those 4-year-olds, those 8-year-olds. First of all, 8-year-olds are not that stupid. Second of all, no, it's not. How can they be confused by this? Like, it's one gay couple in a show that has multiple straight couples. The kids will know this isn't normal per se, but they can see that it's not wrong. They'll see what they need to see of this. It's just, you have to put thought into this. And also, the argument that this is just liberal propaganda, well, what's the argument against it but conservative propaganda? Like, you can't have religious arguments in government. That's against our Constitution, so your argument against gay marriage cannot include religion. And when you take that out, you're not left with much. You're really not. I mean, and if I was watching a show, I don't care what the sexuality of the characters is for my kid. I care about the quality of the relationship. Like, is it a good relationship? Is it a good expression of relationships? Is it a bad one? Is it teaching kids really backwards lessons about relationships? That's a problem. Gay marriage, I don't care. A good relationship is a good relationship. And that's what I want to see from the episodes, not like, and finally, I guess, if your kid, if his ideas about sexuality and what marriage is, what's morally right, is being more influenced by a single episode of a TV show than you, someone better call DCS.